I think we're live. Hello. Okay, I'm about 5 minutes late. I'm sorry about that. I thought I had plenty of time to prepare when I set this live stream up, and it turns out I did not. But I'm here. I have a completely new setup. I've moved house since my last stream. So please let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the camera is good. And just while we wait for some people to come in, I can see your chat. So if you have questions for me in the chat, let me know. And I really, because it is such a new setup, I really want to see people saying audio good, video good. So I'll just wait for a little bit for you all to bombard the chat with that. In the meantime, hello everybody. It's been a long time since I've done this. I've missed this. And yeah, we're going to start getting into it now. Even though nobody in the chat is saying if audio is good or not. I'm going to move on anyway. So effectively, I am here today to celebrate the fact that we have hit 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm really excited to hit that milestone. When I first started this YouTube channel, I didn't think that would be a milestone that I would ever hit. I was end goal, maybe 10,000 followers. That would be amazing. And yeah, we've managed to get it to 40,000. So because of that, I've asked people over on Instagram when I hit 40,000 to ask some questions, and we can do a very traditional back to basics Q&A session right here. And this is great. We've got people saying that the audio is good, the quality is good, so we are good to go. In that case, I'm a one-man band here, so you're also seeing some of the behind the scenes on my screen. I'm going to hit record on the camera because what I'm actually going to do is do this live stream with everyone here, and then I will record this and upload snippets and little individual episodes as we go through the next few weeks. So that's perfect for me because I get lots of nice content from just one session here. So I'm going to do this, hit record, and then I'll do the very traditional introduction that I do, and then we'll get straight into the questions. So let me get aligned up properly here. Camera is now recording. Hey, I'm Sam and I do design, and in the video today, we are doing a question and answering session for 40,000 subscribers. And that's what I do at the start of every single video. Okay, I'm going to head back over to YouTube so I can see what people are saying in the chat. Congratulations, thank you very much. What is the order you use to create the perfect Keyshot render? Oh, well, I have plenty of tutorials about that. And then the best books to learn Keyshot renders. I actually don't know a lot of books for Keyshot renders, but you can check out my Lemonouche course, which I have on the Lemonouche website. You go there and check out my course. I'll tell you everything I know about Keyshot. But first things first. And I was torn between today going through the questions and telling people's names, like saying this question was submitted by X. But as I look through the questions that I'm going to be answering today, some of the people they're looking to move jobs. So I don't think it's good to name people in the questions. But I do really appreciate everybody who asks questions over on Instagram. So this first question is, as a new grad, I feel like I need to do it all and be good at everything to work. Is that true? Now that is a big question because, I graduated 2017 I graduated, and then time hasn't really existed since 2020. So a fair while ago. And I understand this need to, you need to be an expert at everything already. And I know that's tricky to happen. That's tricky for your mindset to keep up with. But what I would say is that if you're a new graduate, being a sponge is going to be the best bet you have, right? So you turn up and you say, I don't know all the answers, but I'm prepared to listen and I know how to get the answers if I don't know them, So we talk about a lot in design and I guess creative fields or business, the fact that you have T-shaped designers and V-shaped designers. And what that means is if you're a T-shaped designer, I need to put my phone down somewhere. If you're a T-shaped designer, you have your skill sets that run along the top bar of the T, right? We're imagining a capital T in this case. And if you have the skills that you're good at in the top bar, you need to fill up as many of those as possible and have a nice wide breadth of skills, a wide range of skills that you can do. But then the stem of the T, that is going to be a skill that you really excel at. And that's going to be a skill that you can focus on. That is your USP. That is something that somebody will come to you for help with. So a T-shaped designer is your goal, really. That's the kind of general idea of pick your speciality of where you want to be, focus on that, but at the same time have a nice wide breadth of skills in order for you to sort of hop between departments, help out here and there. And as long as you become a sponge, and I'm going to say that a few times, so you just need to absorb what everybody is telling you, absorb what people are trying to teach you, whether that's your superiors, your teammates, everything. You know, you're there to learn when you're a new grad. Eventually, you can start to really explore different aspects that you want to get really good at as well. So you've got that basis of the T. Let's say you want a few skills either side of that, which are adjacent skills, not necessarily the exact same thing, but very similar skills. And you can dive into those new skill sets as well. And eventually the T shape becomes more of a V shape, right? So the things that you kind of know are on the outside. And then as you move to the stuff that you're really good at and have a large depth of knowledge in that area, then it becomes a V shape. I don't know if that makes any sense on the live stream. I might have to add some graphics when I cut this up and put it into an actual video. But the point that I'm trying to make is you don't have to know everything and be an expert in everything, but you have to have a baseline knowledge and the ability to pick something up that you haven't really done before and just check, that's a checkbox of being like, okay, I've done that. I've had one experience of doing that. I'm not an expert in it, but I can kind of lend a hand and help out where needed. So I know it's hard when you first graduate, but it gets easier. And once you know the exact route that you want to go down and become an expert in, then it becomes easier as well. So good luck. And again, just be a sponge. That's my advice for that person. Next question. Actually, this question is more of a question for me, and I thought it was quite interesting. It says, what is something you want to learn this year? So something I want to learn this year. Which, that sort of stopped me in my tracks a little bit, because I do these videos and I kind of help out and, try and guide people to where they want to go. And I never really stop to think about what I want to learn this year or what my goals are. Excuse me. Whew. And when I stop to think about what my goals are, it's interesting because this past year in my full day job, I've moved from being a junior designer to being a mid designer, a middleweight, whatever we call it. Names don't matter. Names aren't real, but a midweight designer. And what that's meant is that I've led a project and I will begin to lead more projects where I have a team that I need to manage, right? So the team, originally I would have been on a team helping out the team leader. And this year I have progressed into being that team leader, not on every project, not 10 projects at once, one project at a time to begin with, and I'm still a team member on other projects. But it's meant that I've seen design from the managerial side of things as well. And I really enjoyed that. So this year, I want to carry that on and understand more about how to do that effectively to enable others as well. that kind of ties into what I'm doing here on this channel. I'm trying to empower. I don't want to get too philosophical on this, but with this channel, I'm trying to empower other people purely by not saying that I'm an expert, but saying, hey, I learned this thing yesterday. I'm going to teach you today. And if I can pass that on to my day job and guide designers in my day job as well in an effective way, then that's something that I'm really looking forward to going on this journey to happen. So in answer to the question, well, then my mind starts reeling, right? Because this channel is always about teaching young designers, here's the trick you can get in Keyshot to just make you 1% better than you were before you watch the video. Here's the the tip that just gives you that slight edge. It doesn't make you a genius, but it just each and every day helps out, right? And it's just these little snippets of a Keyshot tip or a portfolio advice. And if I begin to move away from doing the Keyshot or being really involved in the nuts and bolts of the project in terms of like getting work done, like setting up Keyshot scenes, if I move more into managerial and people managing skills, right, within the next 5 years, let's say, what does that mean for this channel? Does Sam Does Design move with me as I learn new people managing skills? And does the channel start to teach that to you, to the subscribers? I don't know. I've always had a passion for the minute detail of a project, whether it's nicely surfacing, a component or setting up a nice Keyshot scene to sell the idea to a client. I really enjoyed getting in and doing that work. And I'm lucky enough that when I do start to manage projects at my job, I don't stop doing the Keyshot. I don't stop doing the SolidWorks and the modeling and the that stuff. But it just made me think, where would this channel go if I did become more of a senior designer and a team leader? Food for thought. Maybe in the comments you'd have some ideas on that. But I don't think I would ever leave Keyshot, or I wouldn't leave the visceral getting things done and having something at the end of a project that you can hold on to and say, I did this curve, or I made this part. I don't think this channel is going to move away from that. That was a long answer to the question, and then I started rambling. So it's just nice to see people tuning in. I've got a few questions from my Instagram page, but it's also nice to chat to you as well. It has been a long time since I've done one of these live streams. It's nice to see people in the chat. So let me just look at some of these comments. How inappropriate is it to go to a party without a fresh haircut on a scale from 1 to 10? That's some big life advice. I don't know. I mean, I've looked back at my old videos recently on YouTube, and I've had the same haircut now. Actually, I've probably had the same haircut for over 10 years, give or take, the time between haircuts, maybe 5 weeks or so between haircuts. And I just had one yesterday, so this is a fresh trim. But, it's all about feeling confident, right? So you go to that party and you just feel the best you can. I didn't know this channel was about life advice as well. Next question, books that industrial designers must have. I have a selection, where can you see, on my bookshelf. Maybe I'll do a video about that. I don't have a huge collection of books. This is literally all the design books that I have as well. Design education. Hello, how are you doing? It's been a while since I've connected to one of your lives. It's been a while since I've done one of these lives. So yeah, it's been a while since everyone, I think. Are there any milestones this year to have planned to do? I kind of feel like I just answered that in that last question. I'd like to manage more projects and be more of a team leader on some projects at work. Where is industrial product design heading? What could be its evolution? Maybe it will be more integrated with other careers, right? Yeah, I already see that happening. Across the board, we have graphic design, industrial design, UX, UI. They're all separate fields right now, and sometimes I have to call myself a hardware designer because the software people and the algorithm people, they all call themselves hardware design. So you have to differentiate in the teams, right? That's algorithm design, that's software design. Hardware design is sometimes referred to as like the components on a PCB. So sometimes I can't even be a hardware designer. And it's like I'm just making a shell. I'm making the shell for all of this stuff to go in, right? And that's, you go on LinkedIn, there's always somebody complaining about product designers and the name of it. What I do think is that the teams that are doing all this will integrate more naturally over the next few years. And, it is a progression towards a fully encapsulated, holistic department of design, which is going to be really exciting. I do enjoy some graphic design. I'm not the best graphic designer in the world by any means, but I enjoy it, and I enjoy the process of really fast iterations. That is one benefit that graphic designers have. Like, if you make a logo in Illustrator and print it out, it is already the exact function that it has, right? As an industrial designer making physical, oftentimes injection molded plastic, machined metal, machined aluminium stuff, you can't press print and have the finished thing, like the finished thing. You can have a representation of it. You can 3D print it, and it is a representation of what the object will become. But graphic designers doing pamphlets, doing logos, doing posters, pressing print, it is the thing, which I always, that level of feedback I really admire and I'm quite jealous of. Let's take another look. Actually, let's take a quick look at the questions from Instagram. Let's take a look at those. So the next question comes from, no, I said I wasn't naming because some people are looking to move jobs. So this next question is from Instagram as well. And they were just asking for the table of contents for my Lemonouche course. Now, my Lemonouche course it covers Keyshot, and it is a start to finish course that takes a complete beginner and brings them all the way up to a skill level, which I think, personally, it's a skill level that's pretty damn good. And with the renders that students have been sending me and showing me after they've taken the course, I'm really impressed with them. I'm really proud of them, and glad that they've enjoyed the course as well. But the table of contents. Essentially, I've split the course up into photography theory. So you need to understand what makes a good photo before going in and doing a render. Then I go into how to use Keyshot itself. Then I go into some of the finer details of Keyshot and some of the really nuts and bolts, how it works. And then we have some case studies about how to put all of that together and set up some different types of scenes at the end. Okay, so I can go through the course content now. So video 1. Oh, and there's also, it's about 5 hours long or 5.5 hours long. It's a pretty long course, but it's jam-packed full of tips. So here we go. Video 1 is why render. Might as well ask that question at the very beginning. Then we have the theory-based videos, which are a video about lighting, a video about composition, a video about camera lenses and how they work, and a video about storytelling and how to tell a story within your images as well. And I sort of sum up that theory section with a video giving you some homework to do at home. It's like a proper teaching session. Then we get into how to use Keyshot. So video number 7 is about the library tab. Then we have a video for the project tab, setting the scene, and then another video about instant setting for renders. So instant settings that I use all the time to make sure my renders are super nice, super quickly. Okay, so literal checkbox instant settings in that. Then we go into the really nuts and bolts, okay? We dive into the material graph, and I have a video on the material graph for wood materials. I have a video for metals. I have a video for fabrics. And then I have one for just miscellaneous, and I call that just oddballs. So just miscellaneous weird materials that don't really fit in with the other categories. Then we have a video for some housekeeping and how to keep everything neat and tidy as you're going through your renders. And then an extra material graph for an extra push to really make the material shine. Okay, so not just the basic settings, but really get into it and make this look like a photorealistic material. After that, then we get into the case studies. Okay, so I tell you how to set up a scene for a pair of glasses and how to make a studio for that. Then we go into setting up a Leica camera and how to set up that scene. Then we bring that into a studio-based scene. So you start to bring more props into the fold, and then finally we cap it all off with a fully propped interior, and we take the individual models that we've got up until that point and put it in a full interior scene and render that out really nicely. So 5.5 hours to cover all of that. It's a pretty in-depth course. You can head over to lemonouche.com to go and find out all the details you need to know about that before signing up. But thank you very much for the question. It's good to be able to talk about that course, and it's good to see that people are interested in it. So this next question, do you recommend a recent graduate to have an online portfolio, and then is it Behance or create your own website? And to answer that, I would say yes, I do recommend that. When we get new graduates apply at work, we ask for a PDF. That's so that we can store them on the server and we can log them and archive them and search them later on. So we do ask for a PDF. But we also search, after we've received the PDF, we also search for your website. Because that gives us an extra little bit of detail, an extra way of analyzing how you work, how you storytell, and I would recommend having a website, 100%. I personally use Squarespace for mine. I know everybody on YouTube is sponsored by Squarespace. I'm not. I don't know if I have to apply or they reach out to me. I don't know. But I use them. I use Squarespace. Behance is an easier method, I would say, because, it's a templated website that you upload your photos and it already kind of does a nice template for you. Squarespace is a little bit more involved. You have to kind of think about the layout. Where do you want the images? Where do you want the text? A slideshow or a video? So you have to think a little bit more about a Squarespace website. So you have some trade-offs, right? Squarespace, I've said it too many times, I should be sponsored by them. It's great and discreet in the sense that you don't have overlap with other designers, right? It's a discreet one-off website. Whereas Behance, it's an easy way to upload things, but you are so close to every other person who is a designer. And what I mean by that is Behance will say, hey, you like this project by this designer. You're probably going to like this project by this other designer. And then Behance kind of works against you in that sense because they're just advertising your competitors to whoever's looking at the portfolios, right? So it's a trade-off. I would recommend having an online portfolio, yes. Where do you want to put that online portfolio? That's up to you, depending on how much effort you can put into it, how much time you have. Yeah, good luck with it. I know it's hard, but you've done the work already. If you said you're a recent grad, so you've done the work already. Don't be afraid to go back and tweak things and edit things and make a nicer render if you want to get a better image, or there's no shame in going back and giving everything a nice lick of paint to put it up online. So yeah, good luck with it, and thank you for the question. We're getting some nice comments in the chat as well. I saw the fresh trim. Yeah. Hey, can you recommend any magazines or news sources for inspiration that you really like? Magazines, that's an interesting one. I haven't bought a physical magazine in a long time. But bear with me 2 seconds, because my camera can only record for half an hour at a time, and I think I'm coming up to the half an hour. There we go. So I've just stopped it, and then now I think I can press play again, and now we're recording again. Now we're back. Anyway, yeah, magazines, tricky one. I don't buy physical magazines anymore, but all the time at work, during my lunch break, or whenever I grab a minute, I'm searching The Verge, I'm searching Wired magazine, Stuff.tv for designs that are already out on the market, Dezeen, Yanko, Core 77. So I read publications. It's reading publications, but it's not a magazine in the sense of a physical thing. What I did really enjoy was Wired magazine when I bought that. I like the layout of the pages. Some physical magazines that I would buy if I saw them, Hole and Corner. I really enjoyed those. More lifestyle, arts-based, arts and crafts, and slower design magazines instead of products and tech and everything that runs out every year. You have to upgrade a new one. So Hole and Corner. Let's see what else. Wallpaper magazine. Icon magazine. I've got one. One thing that I do have here is a book. I buy more design books rather than magazines. And this is a long answer to the question. But there's this one here called We Are Makers. And I think the camera should focus on that. I think. I don't know how good the focusing is. So We Are Makers. And it goes through a whole bunch of craftspeople, right? It goes through a whole bunch of people making stuff, going into their studios, interviewing them. This is the first edition. There's a new edition. There's a second edition after that I've also got. I don't think I'm going to be able to put that back in. Oops. So yeah, those types of more like a book rather than a magazine, I enjoy more. So that's called We Are Makers. And you can follow them on Instagram. That's what, I followed them on Instagram. That's where I first knew about them. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I just listed off a whole bunch of places. Where do I go for my inspiration? Again, all of those places I just said, all of the above. Someone talking about Web3 and NFTs. No, I don't like that. No from me. Don't like NFTs. That's my take on it. Do you know how to program a website, or did you purchase a domain from different companies for your website? Okay, so yeah, on Squarespace you can buy domains. You can do it that way. I personally downloaded mine from GoDaddy just to buy the domains, and then you can link them up to Squarespace afterwards. But hey, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to websites. I have no idea. I just sort of get by on the basic minimum that I possibly can. I think it's still up and running. I haven't checked in a long time. Let's see. Let's go back to... so this question from Instagram. How did you start working with Gantry, and did you contact them first? And this... I I was very, very lucky to be in the right place and the right time to start working with Gantry. I posted, I was doing like a weekly design challenge, or I was just messing around on Keyshot, and posted a lamp design that someone kindly said in the comments. They kindly commented and say, hey, this looks like a Gantry design. You should go check out their page. And I was like, oh, I never heard of Gantry. Let me go see what they're about. And I saw that they were a 3D printed light company. They work with designers from around the world. And at that time, they were actively looking for and advertising, saying that they're looking for designers to work with. So I applied and I sent across the designs that I had posted to Instagram. I think I did 3 or 4 designs that I posted to Instagram and said, hey, these are some ideas. Do you want to work with me? And they said, hey, yeah, we like your stuff. I actually wonder if I still have the email thread. That would be quite nice to go through that. I don't know anymore. But I said, hey, here's some ideas. And they said, yeah, great. You fill out these forms. And then, and they do have it's not like you go to Gantry, say, here's the design, make it. There's a process that you go on. There's a journey that you go on with them to understand the design, you understand the design intent, and then you work through the designs. You make sure that it's going to fit your target audience, and there is a process. So I went along that process with them when I signed up, and then that's where Wait came from, the first light that I did with them, which I don't know where I'm sat. Where's my head? So here, this one. Ta-da! So yeah, I made that for them. And then it was easier to talk to them and come up with a second idea after that. Once I had already done that onboarding process for the first light, it was easier to do the second light. I don't know how much I should say, but I'm thinking about expanding the range that I have with Gantry. I have a call with them this week. So that might be fun. That, to go back on that journey again, whether or not that's a new design or whether or not that's extending the range with the current design, the 2 designs that I have, we shall see. We shall see. But in answer to the question, I was right place, right time. Now that Gantry seem to be working with more select studios, I don't know if they would come to me. I don't know if they would work with me if I applied now. I don't know. Interesting question. But yeah, right place, right time. That's actually all the questions I had from Instagram. I was originally planning to do this just in half an hour. I think I had 5 questions from Instagram, do those in half an hour, and then leave. But I'm here and I'm having a good time, and I think people are in the chat as well. Now, YouTube is glitching for a lot of people setting up live streams right now, and not actually showing the live streams in the homepage. So, when you go on YouTube and you scroll down, see your subscribers, usually you would see the live stream there. That's not happening, and I couldn't see the live stream when I was looking for it earlier on, which means we're having quite an intimate session, I think. We've got 30 people on the chat, and now I'm going to open it up to chat to you folks in the comments. In times like this, when YouTube is glitching a little bit, and I say just a few, it's not just a few of us, 30 people is nice. But it's a nice time to actually chat with everyone. So let's have a look. What do I know? Hey, what do I know about really expensive sticky patches? Really expensive? Is that I don't know a lot. Is that a joke? Should I know what that means? I used to wear eye patches as a kid. They were sticky. Used to have to stick an eye patch onto my good eye, so I only have one eye that works. The other eye doesn't work. And to fix that as a kid, you have to put on an opaque, you can't see through it, an opaque eye patch over the good eye in the hopes that your bad eye that doesn't work will sort of start working. So for a very long time as a kid, I had an eye patch over my good eye, and I could not see a thing. and it didn't work. I didn't wear the eye patch enough. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Apart from that, I don't know anything about sticky patches. Sorry. Christopher asks, how do you or industrial designers in general work around electrical components? With great anger. No. It really depends on how early on the electrical components are in their design process as well, right? If you're working for a new company who says, we have this, we think the PCB is going to be here, we don't know where the capacitors are going, we don't know where the antennas are going, you can kind of lead the conversation or, be a part of that conversation and help distinguish where those components go. If a client comes to you and says, this is the exact electrical package that we have, and this is locked in, and we've already made 100 million of them, that's never the case. But we've already started tooling up. Then you have to be more, you have to build around it. So what we do is we ask for those components, or we ask for a CAD block representation of those components, and literally put it into our data and start building around it, giving as little tolerance as we can for that area. Like if there's a really sharp block of a capacitor or something, and we want a smoother edge over there nicely, we'll try and push back as much as we can. But yeah, we just ask for the data and then work around it that way. How much of industrial design is pure styling and how much is time spent on research and innovation? That is going to depend from company to company, client to client, project to project, user to user, market to market. There are so many variables in that. The real innovation and the real money-making opportunity is in the innovation and research, and really understanding markets, understanding paradigms, understanding why things are that way, and trying to move them around. That's where the big bucks are. Purely styling, yeah, it's nice. Sometimes it's fun. A nice not relaxing, but the pressure is not as high in terms of also managing where this company is going to go in terms of like product offering. Sometimes a styling project is just, I hate to say it's not just. Product styling is in and of itself a great skill. But yeah, in answer to your question, it depends. I hope that helps. The dream job is being able to hop in and out of being able to do all of that. Some days you're doing just styling, some days you're doing research and swapping around. That's the dream, I think. What do you typically do to train your 3D modeling skills? Just 3D model as much as we can. That's what I do. There are some YouTube channels that pop up every now and again going through actual CAD modeling. I've never really done a CAD modeling video on here before, tutorial. Maybe I could. I can't remember the name of the person who's doing SolidWorks ones recently. Andrew? No, I don't know. I'm terrible with names. Awful with names. But if I see a profile picture pop up, I'll know who they are. Yeah, Andrew? SolidWorks tutorials? No, maybe it's not. More questions about NFTs. It's almost... No, I'm not being dragged into this. I'm not being... if you want to do your NFT stuff, fine. You go do it. But I'm making real stuff. I'm making tangible, real objects. And that's not going anywhere. Ever. Any ideas for what a design undergrad should go? Don't quote me on that though. If it's for your thesis. Any ideas for what a design undergrad should do for over the summer to become a better designer? Internships and projects. Yeah, internships and projects. You've answered your question. That's perfect. If you can, internships, hard to come by. Personal projects, easier to come by. Batu, haha. Hello, sorry. Didn't mean to just stop mid-sentence there. Batu saves the day with Andrew Jackson. That's the SolidWorks person. Yeah. And I think I've done this in a video before where I said, my first work experience was nothing to do with industrial design. I started at a graphic design company. It wasn't a graphic design company. I started at an advertising agency. No, that's not even what the company was. I started, for all intents and purposes, it was an advertising agency. And this advertising agency worked with film and TV equipment, and they found companies they were a directory. Here we go. Now I've got it. They were a directory of companies that rented TV and film equipment. Okay. So it's like the Yellow Pages, a list full of companies that sell and rent TV and film equipment, and then people could go there, look what they need, find what they need. I went to this company as a graphic designer because they needed some web banners being made. Okay, so you go on their website and there's a banner at the top and it says, rent these ARRI cameras from this company, rent these RED cameras from this company. And it would literally be as formulaic as that. And the banners needed to be like 800 pixels wide, needed to show the camera, show some text, and that was it. And I got paid weekly based on how many I could do in a week. And I think I did 5 or 10 in a week. Nothing to do with industrial design. Small, tiny job. I mean, luckily that the company was based at Pinewood Studios, and Pinewood Studios is where they film James Bond. It's where they film Star Wars. So there's credibility, even though I was just there to do some web banners, and probably didn't do a very good, web design and graphic design is noble, and I'm not saying it's just web banners, but the way that I was doing them was just web banners. And yeah, from that, you leapfrog and you do something a bit closer to what you want to be doing. And then from that, you leapfrog and do something a bit closer, right? This is a big question about how to find an internship or how to get more experience over summer. The answer is find any creative work that you can in any field that you can. Widen the search from not just industrial design and industrial design consultancy or like really specific design type, but like widen your search and take a creative job in a different field. Would you recommend an undergrad first year industrial design student to buy an iPad? I have a video about that. Search my iPad review. It's not going to replace your laptop. An iPad will not replace a laptop. Full stop. Full stop. What softwares do you have learned so far, and then how they help you in your profession? So the software, I love picking up software. I love learning and learning how to master a piece of software, right? And once you learn one, you can kind of hop between the others. It may take a while to figure out, in this program the button's over here, but in this program it's over here. But vaguely, the understanding is kind of there. So primarily, I use SolidWorks and Keyshot. That's primarily. I also use Shaper 3D. I also use Procreate. I also use Cadmio, I think is up and coming. Cadmio on the iPad. Blender as well. I've started to use Blender more and more for more organic sculptural forms. It's not about learning a software just to say you can do the software. It's about learning what software will enable you. Sorry, I just kicked the table, and my microphone is mounted to it. Sorry, everyone. It's not about learning the software to say I can do this software. It's about I can achieve a task. I can achieve something, and it doesn't matter what software I use to get there. Right? So sometimes, in a project recently, I was hopping between Blender and Keyshot to do something. I can't say what it was, but I was literally hopping back and forth, creating some stuff in Blender, rendering it in Keyshot. There was some rigging involved. I don't know anything about rigging, so I learned a bit. I learned just enough to get through, and just little snippets. And in learning some rigging, I'm sure, in Blender I'm sure that I would have picked up something else along the way as well. Now if someone goes, oh, can you do some simulations in Blender? I'll go, oh no, but I've done some rigging before and I saw some buttons that sort of made sense for simulations. Maybe. So that the point is being proficient in enough programs to get by and achieve a goal, not learn the program so you can claim on your portfolio, learn the program. Lemonoosh, how are you doing? Good to see you. I've just gone through the course content, so hopefully people are coming over to the website now and checking it out. Hi Sam, do you see sustainability and circular economy currently in the industrial design industry? Big question. I do see companies pushing for more sustainable ways of doing things now. Yeah, it's almost like a detriment to not do that. If you come out with a product and you're seen as the bad guys who have not thought about the environment, then yeah, it's the market is driving the demand for sustainable and circular economy, which is really great to see. It's great to see. I've been in meetings before where we try and push, hey, there's this sustainable material. I'm not saying whether it was a recent client or an old client, or I've heard a story of a client saying this. But, you try and push this and say, here's a really sustainable material, but it's going to push up your packaging cost by 12%. And that is 12% too high. So it's just not done. Long time ago, well, not that long ago, but I do see things changing now, and that's great. I need a better YouTube setup because I'm watching the comments. The camera's there. This is YouTube 101. I need to set up the comments right next to the camera. I'm sorry, everyone. I've just been looking at the side of my head for an hour. Industrial design is a very old concept. Well, fine. Nothing's going to get made ever again. No new laptops. No new phones. No new shoes. No new chairs. What? It is an old concept because we've always needed stuff. But I'm not commenting on this. As I keep saying. Let's see. I've been working as a mechanical design engineer as when I graduated university. Design jobs weren't available. Enjoy it just as much, but it's difficult to move up. Yeah, mechanical design engineer. It sounds technical even just saying the name. So I guess, I was joking at work the other day because sometimes I even get my calculator out to do like stupid little silly things like 25 minus 5. Let me just double check. That's the level of my maths. And I saw it on, I think what sparked that conversation was because I saw on Twitter, bad news everybody, 77 plus 33 does not equal 100. And I was like, yeah, it does. 77, 33 equals 100. And I did the maths. On my app, calculator app, and it equals 110. And then I stopped to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, it does. And I was really sad that it doesn't equal 100. Anyway. do you think that the work of product designer do you think that the work of product designers and industrial designers to be related? Yeah, we're always moving towards this holistic world of digital and physical, service and physical, or service and digital. This idea of different departments just doing different things, it doesn't make sense. We have to move the departments closer together, and maybe there will be in the same way that design consultancies move from company to company, sort of giving an outside perspective in. Maybe there are design consultants to go between departments and say, and start to begin to bridge the gap. Maybe that is where we're going to be moving forward. Pavan, thank you very much. Thank you for the donation. So I do think that we will be moving towards a more digital-centric, physical collaboration of departments. When that happens, I don't know. Pavan, welcome to the chat. Hi, Sam. After 2 years of lockdown, my university is finally open, but it has affected second and third years of the bachelor's program. Wasn't able to do much in this time. What's your advice for my final year? Yeah, it's a really tricky one, and my heart goes out to you. I understand it's a really tricky time to be in, because university should be the safe place to fail. And by that, I mean, you can experiment and try crazy things, and in the work, I mean, in the design work, I'm not giving out life advice again. But, you can experiment with design stuff and really push the boat out about what you think is good design. And it's a safe place to fail. And I say that because you won't get fired from a job. You won't, that lives aren't on the line if you miss a safety, if you miss out on some safety requirements. University is a safe place to fail. So to have missed out on that, I understand it's hard to bounce back from that. So my advice would be, now that the university is back open again, attack it with as much make up for lost time when it comes to experimenting, right? If you can get into the workshop, how the forms work, if you start sanding stuff and sticking stuff together and gluing, now is the time to do the experimentation. And just the advice is, use the facilities to as much as you can manage, right? Befriend the workshop technicians. That is my one piece of advice. Workshop technicians are your friends. I still talk to some of my workshop technicians on LinkedIn, granted. If they have a work event promotion, if I have a work event promotion, we chat. Get to know them, get to know the people who own the departments, get to know the people who run the machines, and ask them for the advice. And that would be my piece of advice to you, is use the facilities to their full potential and have a good time. Make the most of this last year. And yeah, try to enjoy it and make up for that lost time. But yeah, good luck, and have fun with it. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Product design is now UX design. Yeah, the terms of design is being, they're being adapted and changed, not only on a global level, but also in a company level as well. Design terms aren't regulated. Design as an industry is not regulated. And we're just doing our best to define what we are, and we're doing our best to define what other design fields are like. And that what happens is the loudest people end up with the names they want. The people shouting the loudest, whether that comes from local communities or UX UI is just, it dwarfs industrial design. There are so many more UX UI people. So what they say goes, effectively. But does it matter? No. Apart from when you're trying to find a job, then it does. There are companies out there who are trying to tackle this. Traditional jobs boards, for sure, are a great place to start. Instead of LinkedIn, where it's like, come and see every type of job, you go to somewhere like Lemonoosh and search their jobs board. It's probably going to be nicely labeled and correctly labeled, the jobs that are there. And then even companies like Design Truth, who, if you go to the Design Truth website, they have a full list of UK-based industrial designers, whether it's consultancy or in-house. And you can look on the map and see where they all are. And then from that, then you can start to look for jobs. So it is frustrating when you go on LinkedIn and see that people are doing UX UI, but only to the point where it's a slight inconvenience. Because there are other methods of finding industrial design jobs. But, it is an extra hurdle to get over when there are plenty of hurdles in the first place. This is a really interesting question. Can you please share your thoughts on CMF design as a career and the future possibilities of it? Absolutely. I love CMF design, colors, materials, and finishes. I don't know enough about colors, materials, and finishes to even comprehend being a CMF designer. When I do CMF at work, I have a good go and what kind of makes sense for this project, what is manufacturable, it's all the practical attributes that I'm thinking of. But what I would really enjoy is a CMF designer that really pushes the boat out and say, this material was developed last week. Now we can put it in our product. That would be amazing. I think that with man-made material, synthetic materials, probably shouldn't say man-made, synthetic materials and complete creations of different alloys, whether that's metals or whether that's different, bio resins with eco-friendly composites. There's never been a better time to do CMF stuff and spec CMF work. So if you can get into that, personally, I'd be really excited to see how that field progresses. People are coming in more and more now. I'm conscious of time though. I was only supposed to be here for half an hour, and now we've been here about an hour. So, and the camera stopped recording a long time ago. So what I'm going to have to do is, I think, sign off. I hope that I got enough. I hope that I answered enough questions. Again, I'm looking at the chat here. Camera's there. How many times do I need to do this before I understand? I hope I've answered enough questions, is what I was saying. I answered a few from Instagram. We've had a nice chat here on YouTube. It's been fun. I was actually stressed for this today. It's been a long time since I've done a live chat. It's been a long time since I've been really active on YouTube. With things changing outside, timescales changing, I've become a little more senior at work, a bit more responsibility. Things have got in the way. But I hope to come back. I hope this is the beginning of more content on YouTube. If I can put aside half an hour on a Sunday, an hour on a Sunday, if I can just do that once a week, then I hope that continues more. What I will be doing now is cutting up snippets from these videos, I hope. I'm always worried about quality of audio. I've got this microphone, I've got a microphone here. There's always issues with audio that means that I can't put things up, no matter how much I try. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut up some of this content from the past hour, post it as individual videos over the next week. And so if you miss anything in the live stream, I think this live stream is staying up. But yeah, shorter videos will be on their way soon. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm rambling now. Thank you so much for watching this question and answering sessions for my 40,000 subscribers celebration. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell button and everything else that YouTube asks you to do. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye. Okay, that was for the video. That's behind the scenes. And I just want to say a thank you to everyone else who tuned in here for hanging out. It's nice to hang out. And I will be doing this more and more. So thank you all, and I will see you all soon. And I don't know how to end these live streams. So, bye.